pretzels waiting to hear all about our saint of the day. And our saint is, let me show you this beautiful picture. I think y'all have this at home. Pope St. John Paul II. Such a spiritual, wonderful man that all he did was care for others. We have a lot to talk about with him. His name before he became a pope was Carol. And it was Carol, Wojtyla. Yes, Carol Wojtyla. He lived in Poland. And his mother, well, she was so sweet and she's very motherly, but she took a second job. She was a full-time mother, but she also was a seamstress. And a seamstress is someone who would sew. And a lot of times she would sew for other people for money. Now, his daddy, very nice man. He was very religious. He was a very Christian man, and he was in the army. And he also had a brother and had a little sister. Well, they lived in a small house in Poland. And I got to thinking, Mr. Bob is from, his grandparents are from Poland that moved over here. And I was thinking of some of the things that they might have done that we do. And I know they have what they call a kitchen garden. And that means they would have a small garden like our house, but they didn't grow things to sell. They grew things because they needed it to eat. They did not have much money. And I looked up and I thought, what are some of the things that they would grow? Or some of the same things that we would grow. So I got this kind of heavy because this was my grandmother's wooden bowl. And I thought I would show you some of the vegetables that they grew. Now I'm going to hold them up to you, but I just wanted to show you the whole bowl and how nice. And one of them's really big, and I could never do that. All right. They did have carrots. They grew squash. They grew potatoes. They had apples. I never thought about them having apple trees, but they did, and they had plenty of apples and cucumbers. Now, I thought about cucumbers a lot because Mr. Bob used to tell me about his grandmother. She would get her cucumbers, and she would put them what they call a brine in a big crock, or big pot that was made out of clay that had a lid. And she'd get all of her cucumbers, about this size because she wanted some big pickles. And she would get those and put herbs in them. Now, one that I have in my garden, I will show you, is dill. And it's real kind of feathery. And I wish, if you could smell it, I might bring it when we all get together again. It smells like dill pickles. So she would put, dill in there and some other herbs that I just don't know about. But she would make pickles for everyone. Something else they had, they grew. I have a big one. I wish I had grown this, is cabbage. They did have cabbage, and they cooked a lot with all of these. And I'm thinking that he must have helped, then called Carol. Carol must have helped his mama in the garden quite a bit. And I found a precious picture of him. He was probably, I'm not sure how old, 8, 9, 10, 11, but let me show you this picture. And remember I told you his daddy was very religious. See it? Look here, it's a picture of Jesus. I thought that was a precious picture. You'd never think about these wonderful men, these saints, that they were young men themselves at one time. Well, I have to tell you something that happened to him about the time he was this age. His mother, she passed away when he was 9 years old. And 2 years later, when he was 12, 3 years later, his brother passed away also. And he was just devastated. And it was just him and his father. And thank goodness his daddy, like I said, was a very religious man. And they stayed at the church. Now remember, he was in the army. Well, here's what happened back then. World War II. Okay, we're in America. They're in Poland. Here's Germany. Germany decided to invade Poland, and that means they decided to go to Poland and take over. And I mean take over. Things that we can't imagine. They went over and they said, hey, we don't want you to live over here. We're going to move you from your home, and we want you all to live together over here. You can't do that anymore. I don't think you're going to go to school. Nope, we don't want you to go to that school. Close the school. The worst part was, we don't want you to go to your church. Can you imagine someone telling us we could not go to St. Francis anymore? I would be devastated. Well, they fought against this. They did not want someone else to tell them what they had to do, so they did fight. And sadly, during this time, remember his daddy was in the army. He passed away also. So there he was. This young, precious boy was by himself. But thank goodness he was raised as a Christian. And he lived at the church. He stayed at the church after this time. Now, I wanted to get this right, what he said about his daddy. And I had written this down. He said the reason he became such a true worshiper was because of his daddy. And do you know what his trust and love came from? His trust was Mother Mary. I don't know if you can see right here, right behind me. We're going to go to her in a minute. We just ordered, Mr. Bob and I just ordered that statue of Mother Mary not long ago because we wanted to have a shrine somewhere like a Mary garden back here. And we haven't done that quite yet because we don't know where we're going to put it, but we want to. And I have to tell you this also about him, and I did write some of this stuff down. I was so afraid that I was going to forget it. Every time he would pass a statue or a shrine of Mary, he would say this: I am all yours. He would whisper it. People said that when he went by, that you could hear him whispering to Mary, I am all yours. He must have trusted her so much. He knew that with Mary and the Lord that he could overcome all the things. Think of all that he has been through at such a young age. Let's go see our statue, because I bet he would walk over and he would see Mother Mary. Let's see. I'm hoping you can see me with my statue. And when my children were little, and I think it was because they were learning their Hail Mary, they would sing it. And I would catch them during the day. They would be coloring a picture and they would just be singing their Hail Mary, and it just really affected me. So here's what I would like to do. I would love for us to do that, please. Let's do that now. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for sinners now and at the hour of death. Pray for sinners now. Amen. I used to love to hear them sing that. And you know, I think it's wonderful that he had his trust in Mary. He had his trust in the Lord, but he also had his trust in Mary. Now I'm going to read some of these notes because he was just fascinating. Let me see where I am. Oh, yes. I didn't know this until I read it. As a young man, he loved sports. He was very athletic. He liked to swim. He liked to ski. They did a lot of snow skiing. He was also in the theater. He was very theatrical. He would love to go to the theaters, and he would act out sometimes. And he was a big lover of poetry. And they said that he has written some poems himself, because he really liked that. Well, they closed his school. You know, I told you the Germans came over. They closed his school, and he could not go in his university. It was a college, and he could not go anymore. So what he did, he wanted to be a priest. So he went to a secret seminary school. He did. A secret school that they did not know about. That's exciting, but I tell you, that was pretty scary. I bet he was. No wonder he loved Mary and the Lord so much. They helped him in all these scary times. Now, at that time, he did become a priest. He became a priest, and he became a bishop. And he fought for peace all over places. He went everywhere to fight for peace. They said, oh, I have to tell you this, that he traveled to 129 countries. Can you believe that? I don't think I can name 129 countries. But he traveled. And the reason he did that, because you know that's pretty tiring too, is that he wanted everyone to know about the Lord and the peace that the Lord shared with them. And these countries now that he went to, a lot of them were very poor countries, and people lived very poor, and they were sick, and that's who he wanted to help. And he wanted to tell people that could help them that that was their mission. That was what the Lord gave them to do. So 129 countries I thought was just really something. Now I have to tell you some fun facts about him. When he was the Pope, now, oh wait a minute, I got to tell you when that happened. That happened in 1978. 1978, he was elected Pope. And he was Pope for a very long time. I'll tell you about that in a minute, but this is a fun thing I think is funny. While he was Pope, he had a nun that was a dietitian. He had a sweet tooth. And so what happened was, this is just, oh, there's this crystal. What was fun about that is that they would be at a dinner, and there would be a guy coming around with a dessert, and he would have like a pie. And the nun would go and look at the man serving dessert and go like this. Can you see that? With her fingers, and say, he can only have that much pie. But she didn't say it out loud. She was just kind of going, you know, clearing her throat. Well, when she turned away, Pope would look at him and go and spread his fingers way out because he wanted a bigger piece. And so he got his bigger piece. When his nun, the dietitian who watched his diet, was not looking, I thought that was very funny. I also wanted to find out what his favorite food was. And because he was such a neat person, and oh my goodness, I could not believe this. It is a food called pierogies. Now that is made with the cabbage. Oh, I'll get that again. The cabbage. Some of them were, and the inside had cabbage in them. And the others have something that I'm very fond of, is mashed potatoes. Well, guess what? That is Mr. Bob's favorite food too. Almost every Friday we have pierogies. I brought one because we had them. I thought you might like to see them. It's kind of like a dumpling. And show you these. They are delicious. Can you believe that this was Pope St. John Paul's favorite dish, and is Mr. Bob's too? Here is a dumpling. And on the inside is mashed potatoes, and they are very, very good. Oh, you can tell somebody else thinks that she's going to get one of these pierogies. They're just going to have to wait on that. I thought that was just a really fun fact. Well, he was a pope, Pope St. John Paul II. He was a pope for 27 years. 27 years he was, and I wanted to make sure that I knew that this was right, because during that time he did perform a miracle. There was a nun, and I believe it was a French nun, that had Parkinson's disease, and that is, I don't know a lot about it. I know my daddy had it. And I know that several people that do have Parkinson's disease, and it is kind of like where you can shake. It's kind of like with your nervous system, I believe. But the nun had that, and he cured her of that. And they said it was a miracle that he had done that. Well, he died in 2005, and the world was very sad. But how blessed was it that, I'm sorry, we have got dogs who want to have pierogies. I might have to give this to Mr. Bob. Can you take the pierogies so the dogs would love to have them, wouldn't they? I opened that up. You might as well just feed them some. Well, when he passed away, there was a celebration of his life, because all those years, even as a young boy, not only when he became Pope, but as a young boy, what he had done for others, and how much he loved Mother Mary and worshiped her and wanted to tell people about trust. If you trust them, everything eventually will be okay. Well, I have a song about trust. I'm a little tired this morning, so we're going to have to start it off very slow. But it is about putting your hand in the hand of the man who stilled the waters, in the hand of the Lord, and Mother Mary, and trust them. Okay, I'm starting it now. I think I'll sit down because I am very tired. Are you ready? Put your hand in the hand of the man who stilled the waters. Put your hand in the hand of the man who calmed the seas. Take a look at yourself, and you can look at others differently by putting your hand in the hand of the man from Galilee. Oh, I am so sorry. Maybe I better stand up and see if I can wake up a little bit more and sing it just a little bit faster. Are you ready? Put your hand in the hand of the man who stilled the waters. Put your hand in the hand of the man who calmed the seas. Take a look at yourself, and you can look at others differently by putting your hand in the hand of the man from Galilee. Ooh, I am up now. I am ready. I'm ready to sing that just a little bit faster. I'm excited. Got the birds excited. Are you ready? Put your hand in the hand of the man who stilled the waters. Put your hand in the hand of the man who calmed the seas. Take a look at yourself. You can look at others differently by putting your hand in the hand of the man from Galilee. All right, I can hear some of you saying, I hear it. Faster, faster, faster. I guess I will have to. Okay, are you ready to do it super duper fast? I'm ready. Okay, here we go. I think I'm ready. I might wait. I hear a plane coming. Listen, and the dog barking. I might have to wait a minute. That's good. I can catch my breath. Get ready. Ooh, I wish you could see it. Okay, here we go. Put your hand in the hand of the man still the waters. Put your hand in the hand of the man that comes. You can look at yourself and you can look at others differently. But put your hand in the hand of the man from Galilee. Y'all are so wonderful. Thank you for being here. And I am so glad that we got to talk about Pope St. John Paul II, a wonderful man who we all loved. And I cannot wait to see who we are going to be talking about next week. I love you, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.